Ratios, proportions, and measurement, choosing US customary measurements. So this is all about having a good grasp of what these measurements actually mean. So one bucket holds about a pint or a gallon. So if you're familiar with a gallon is like a gallon of milk that you usually buy at the store. So buckets are usually pretty big. A pint is much smaller than a gallon. So the way it works is a gallon can be split up into 4 quarts, and then each quart can be split up into 2 pints. So if we look, if this would be a gallon of milk, first I'd split it up into quarts, right? There'd be 4 quarts in a gallon. And then half of one of these quarts would be a pint. That'd be a really small bucket. So we'd say 1 gallon of water is a bucket. Keith's finger is about how long? Well, feet, yards, and miles is definitely too long. 9 feet is taller than the tallest person, I think. 9 inches. However, 9 inches is not a realistic measurement for somebody's finger, more like 3 or 4 inches. So that's off, but that's going to be our only option. And then a large horse weighs about an ounce, not an ounce, because an ounce is like 16 ounces equals just 1 pound. So a horse can't weigh 1 ounce. That's tiny. Can't even weigh a pound because that's way less than us. So it weighs a ton. A ton is 2,000 pounds. All right, let's go to the next one. Shen drank a total of 7 cups or gallons of water. So we're usually supposed to drink about 8 cups of water a day. This is insane to drink 7 gallons. I don't think you would be able to survive that. And there's 16 cups in a gallon, so that's about half of a gallon of water. Then we've got Donna's finger is about 3 inches long. That makes sense. And a metal fork weighs about 2. Now let's look at this. Tons, definitely not. It's either pounds or ounces. You might be tempted to think pounds, but pounds would still be pretty heavy for a fork. I'm gonna say 2 ounces. I think that should be good. That even seems light for a fork, but it's somewhere in the middle there. Okay. Last but not least, Ahmed's house is 15 what from school? Inches. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Feet. I mean, feet and yards, that's super close, right? Like 15 feet, he'd literally live right next door. 15 yards, is just 3 feet, so that's like 15 yards would be 45 feet. He could, but I'd say a more reasonable thing is 15 miles from school. Milan drank about 2 gallons, that's a lot. Just for lunch, we'd say probably maybe 2 cups, that makes sense. And Lashonda's bowling ball weighs about 3 ounces, pounds, or tons. 3 tons would be 6,000 pounds, which doesn't make sense. 3 ounces is really, really small, but usually we'd say maybe like 3 pounds. That sounds about right.